Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Dating nowadays has this weird phase where you can basically be in a relationship without actually being in one. You can text someone every day, FaceTime them, go out together, and maybe even buy each other gifts. At that point, anyone looking from the outside would probably assume you're dating. But then somebody asks, "Is that your girlfriend?" And suddenly you don't know what to say. We're talking.
Bruh.
What does that even mean? You've been talking for 2 months. You know her coffee order, her childhood trauma, her birthday, and somehow you're still like, yeah, we're just seeing where things go. And I'm not saying the talking stage itself is bad. Obviously, you should get to know somebody before jumping into a relationship with them. But I think it becomes a problem when two people are basically doing everything a couple would do, while neither person knows where they actually stand. Eventually, somebody has to ask the dreaded question, so, what are we? And weirdly enough, that question can be terrifying. Then there's the problem of actually asking somebody where the relationship is going. Because imagine you've been talking to someone for a while. You like them, they seem to like you. Everything seems to be going pretty well. But neither of you has actually said what this is, and now you start overthinking it. What if I ask too early? What if I seem desperate? What if we're not looking for a relationship? What if I completely misunderstood everything? So instead of asking, you just don't. Another week passes, then another. At this point, you're waiting for the relationship status to update itself like a software patch. And to be honest, I think not knowing feels safer than getting an answer you don't want. Because as long as you don't ask, you can keep telling yourself that maybe it'll turn into something. Then one day, you finally build up the courage to ask, "What are we?" And they hit you with, "I really like you, but I'm not looking for anything serious right now." And if somebody decides they're not interested anymore, we have another wonderful feature of modern dating. Ghosting. You don't have to tell somebody you're not feeling it. You don't have to have an awkward conversation. You don't even necessarily have to say goodbye. You can just disappear. And that's what makes ghosting so frustrating to me. Sometimes you don't even know what happened. Everything seemed completely normal. You were having good conversations. Maybe you even went on a couple of dates. And then suddenly, nothing. And now you're sitting there analyzing the last 5 messages like you're investigating a crime scene. Was it this joke? Did I text too much? Did I text too little? Why did they watch my story if they're ignoring me? Meanwhile, your message is just sitting there. Read 11:28. Another thing that makes dating way more confusing than it needs to be is mixed signals. Someone can text you good morning every day, flirt with you constantly, stay up until 2 a.m. talking to you, tell you they miss you, get jealous when you mention somebody else, and then when you finally ask what's going on between you two, suddenly it's, I don't know, we're just vibing. Just vibing? At that point, I don't even know what vibing means anymore, and that's what makes mixed signals so frustrating. Their actions can make you feel like this is clearly going nowhere, but their words tell you something completely different. Now you're sitting there trying to analyze everything they've ever said like you're studying evidence for a court case. She used 2 heart emojis instead of 1 today. This has to mean something. No, brother, we have no idea what it means. Another thing I've noticed is that modern dating has an absolutely ridiculous amount of terminology. You've got talking stages, situationships, ghosting, breadcrumbing, benching, love bombing, soft launching, and hard launching. Bro, when did dating get patch notes? I feel like I need to study before I can even participate. And some of these terms describe situations that are so ridiculously specific that it almost feels like we've created a word for every possible way 2 people can like each other without actually becoming boyfriend and girlfriend. Imagine explaining this to someone 50 years ago. Yeah, we're not dating. We're in a situationship. But I think she's breadcrumbing me after she soft launched me. They probably think you were having a stroke, to be honest. I also think it shows just how complicated we managed to make something that's supposed to start with a simple message. And then we have texting. Somehow, we've created an entire dating rulebook around texting despite nobody ever actually agreeing to these rules. How long should I wait before responding? Is responding too soon desperate? They took 2 hours to respond. So should I take 2 hours? Can I double text? Is the double text really that serious? Then you send somebody a message and they don't respond, but you see them posting on Instagram. Oh, so you do have your phone. Or they watch your story while your message has been sitting undelivered for 6 hours. Now you're looking at your phone like, interesting. And the worst part is how easy it is to overanalyze tiny things. They say goodnight yesterday. Today they said, good night. No exclamation point. It's over, pack it up, the relationship's finished. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but I think a lot of people have experienced some version of this. Texting gives us all those tiny signals: response times, read receipts, likes, punctuation, emojis, and sometimes we start treating those signals like they mean way more than they actually do. I think one of the weirdest things about modern dating is that a lot of people seem to want commitment, while also being absolutely terrified of commitment. You'll hear people say, I'm tired of situationships, I just want something real. Then somebody comes along who actually likes them, communicates clearly, wants to spend time with them, and is ready for a relationship. And suddenly it's, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are we
Man,
moving
this
so
dude
fast?
sucks.
Bro, isn't this what you wanted? It's almost like we want all the benefits of being in a relationship. The affection, the good morning texts, have somebody to talk to, going on dates, without having to deal with the vulnerability and responsibility that comes with actually calling it a relationship. And I understand why. Committing to someone means you can actually get hurt. You have to trust them, communicate with them, and accept that there's always a chance things don't work out. But at some point, you can't complain about modern dating being full of situationships while simultaneously keeping somebody in a talking stage for 7 business months. Eventually, somebody has to take a risk and say, yeah, I actually like this person. After everything I've talked about in this video, I don't think dating is completely doomed. Yeah, talking stages can last forever, people ghost each other, mixed signals are everywhere, and apparently we need an entire dictionary just to understand what two people are doing. But underneath all of that, I think most people still want something pretty simple. We want somebody who actually chooses us. Somebody we can talk to after a long day, laugh with, make memories with, and actually build something real with. And honestly, I think that's why dating can be so frustrating in the first place, because we actually care. Maybe people haven't stopped wanting relationships. Maybe we've just made getting into one way more complicated than it needs to be. Eventually, somebody has to stop playing it cool, risk getting rejected, and say, hey, I like you. I want to see where this goes. It might not always work out, but eventually you might meet somebody where you don't have to analyze response times, decode mixed signals, or wonder where you stand. You'll just know they choose you too.